What's up, Buffs Nation, and welcome into Buffs Blitz with my host, David Talks Buff. I'm Russ Dornish for Buffs News Weekly. David, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday evening?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm hoping that we got some consistency at quarterback this week. So that is something that I'm going to be happy about. I was pleased about Brett Bartolone's comments. I'm hoping that that is indicative of some real changes that are being made. And really, Russ, I'm excited about the opportunity for our Buffs to get this losing taste out of our mouths, to get a victory, and to find some confidence before we go up against what is now the top defense in all of college football in BYU.
Yeah, the next four games, Dave, are not going to be pretty. And I get it. I truly do. Um, you know, we need to. This is a must win game by all accounts. Luckily, we've got also news to break for everybody that's not on social media, but officially, Caden's, well, not officially, I guess the CU team didn't do it, but the leaks are saying that Caden Salter will be back at the helm for starting quarterback. Dave, how are you feeling about that decision? What are you feeling overall coming out of the obviously disastrous game that was the Houston game on Friday?
Yeah, to me, it didn't really matter too much about who was going to be quarterback this week. The most important thing is that I want to make sure we're not doing three quarterbacks this week. We're not treating this like a week 4 preseason game. I don't want any of that, man. Um, it's just insane. It's insane what happened with Delaware. Now it was fun, but you can't argue, for that type of process right now, especially with how Ryan Staub played towards the end of that game against Houston. And I think as much as we wanted to see it and felt as if Ryan Staub had earned that right to start against Houston, I'll still say that that's the case. I think already going back to Caden Salter, I think it shows that, man, that door probably shouldn't have ever been opened. And the real trick is, can we call an offense that will fit Caden Salter's
Bingo.
strengths? How do you feel about it?
Bingo. I think that's the biggest key. We've talked about it multiple times over the last couple of weeks. I think the move to Staub was Coach Prime trying to maybe get some juice flowing, something going with the team. Because I will say, and again, I don't think it's Caden Salter's fault. I do think it was the use of Caden Salter that caused it to look so bland and so just dead when it came to the energy on this team. It was just not a fun sight to see. I mean, I was at that Delaware game. Even though Salter put together 2 drives, 10 points, and everybody was like, well, Salter didn't lose himself the job.
Right.
The fact was that stadium was dead when they were on the field. There was just no life, nothing fun happening, nothing, and you could tell with the team. And then Staub comes in, energizes everybody. They get some really big plays, they get some really big drives, they look really good, energy all around. I can understand why Prime was like, well, I think I have to go this direction. But it backfired horribly against Houston as Staub struggled, at times, looked good on the couple of drives that he succeeded at, but the rest of it was, not much happened at all. And it was brought up this week, David. I'd like to get your comments on it, but I can't remember if it was Adam Munstertiger or Brian Howell brought up, and somebody else brought it up too. No, they brought it up in their show. It was Brian Howell. They brought up that with Staub at quarterback, the drives were lasting a heck of a lot shorter than they were with Salter, meaning that the defense was back on the field very quickly most of the time. And I think that hurt them against Houston to an extent. Obviously, that was a huge thing against Georgia Tech, but I mean, had those been even shorter than what they were, who knows what we would have ended up with. So, what are your thoughts on that idea that perhaps, the offense just being able to take up more time with Salter, even if, he's not succeeding in getting points, could help the defense out a little bit more when it comes to their effectiveness?
Yeah, no, Ryan Staub had that scramble for the touchdown, but
Mhm.
we still had 3 and outs. And I think the issue with this team right now is that Coach Prime and Pat Shermer, but the buck stops with Coach Prime, is that it has been their strategy right now for all of these quarterbacks, regardless of skill set, to come in there and play the Shador Sanders offense. And we've seen less of it be, I think, even though the results weren't as nice against Houston as they were Delaware with Ryan Staub, I think we saw the operation in general just look a lot cleaner, like getting the
Yep.
plays off, like everything like that. Like it looked less discombobulated. But again, if it's not leading to any difference with the results, is there really any point to doing that? I think that right now, this team lacks and has shown the lack of ability to scheme with all this NFL experience, man. With all of this NFL experience, they're doing the most anti NFL thing that successful NFL teams do, and that scheme towards the strengths of their players and scheme away and away from any of the weaknesses or shortcomings their players might have. And if you're going to go back to Caden Salter, it is ridiculous to have had him here since January with the idea that he was just going to be a plug and play with
Yep.
the offense that we saw with Shador. That is that is criminal against Coach Prime and Pat Shermer. It's a total misjudgment of their player evaluation, or really the evaluation of themselves. Because again, I still feel like this is a talented football team. They're underachieving, I think, because we can get to the defense eventually, because they're even a bigger issue than the offense right now. But the offense is leaving a lot of chips on their table with running. You hear the coaches, the opposing coaches, Russ, that have
I know.
gone against us. They've said Colorado's going to do what Colorado is going to do. They run their offense regardless of who they're playing. Guys, we don't have the high-end star talent to just do that and get away with it. We actually have to coach. That's pathetic that both of those coaches have said that after these matchups. They're not even planning for us to get creative or have any sort of strategy going up against any of these opponents. It's disgusting.
Yeah. No, Dave. I mean, couldn't have said it better myself. I was hoping that we would be throwing in plays like Liberty had, stuff that really benefited Caden Salter. The only thing we added in was, and really we didn't. It was just that Shador, when it came to the RPO and the option, chose to pass over anything else. And so we kept those plays in. There's no where is the option plays? Like, have we run a single, actual true, like we saw it in practice even during fall camp, and we haven't seen it once really with Salter to give him that, flexibility. And it is frustrating. It's frustrating when every team's press conference so far this season says the exact same thing. It's the same message every time. Now we're starting to see it of they know exactly what Colorado's offense is going to be. They know what it's going to be. They know how to tee off on it. And you're seeing that in how teams are dominating us. And it's just disappointing. And so let's get to the big info from today.
Yes.
Of course, you mentioned it. Yesterday, Coach Prime spoke and was asked the question that we've been asking all season, Dave. What is the identity of Colorado? And what is Coach Prime's answer to that question? I don't know what identity is. What do you mean identity? Like, what are you even talking about? Completely blows off the question. Then today, Brett Bartolone gets his press conference and is asked the same question, Dave. And I'm going to go ahead. Let's let him speak instead of us kind of, say what's going on. So let's hear what Brett. Oh, give me 2 seconds because I've got to make sure that we can hear this. 2 seconds here. Audio link. Okay, and then again, give me 2 seconds. Kind of last minute thing. Okay, hopefully, Dave, you tell me immediately if you can hear this or not once I start playing it.
I think so. Can you turn it
Gotta
up?
find it right
It's as loud as it goes.
Yeah, it's too
do
low.
that.
Okay. Well, he talks about identity. Okay. He talks about identity, and he says we've got to find our identity on as an offense. Us coaches have to find that, because he's literally asked about that. What is the identity? What's going on? He's like, we've got to find that identity. I mean, he hits it straight up. Straight up. Dave, what are your thoughts on what he had to say? What's going on with the coaches right now? And what's going on with the idea of identity for this team, which we've been screaming since off season of what this team identity is going to be?
Yeah. Strangely enough, like for all the one dimensionality that our offense had last year, like we knew what we wanted to be. Knew the style of football that we wanted to play on offense. This is a type of conversation that should be had in January when you have all your new hires, all your new transfers coming in. It's inexcusable to have the coaching staff talking about trying to find an identity right now going into week 4. As Northside's bringing up right here, our coaches are not on the same page, and there is a lack of clear communication. There's a lack of transparency because whoever is making the decisions, when you bring in a quarterback like Caden Salter, you can win with a quarterback like that. I think you saw Texas A&M get the upset in South Bend against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish with a quarterback that completed like somewhere, I think, 50 or 60% of their passes, right? This happens in college football. The difference is that they actually scheme towards the strengths of their quarterbacks, even if they don't have a pro-level quarterback at this current juncture. It is a huge – I don't even know how to put it in perspective, Russ, but it's nice that at least somebody is coming out and saying, like, we have to find an identity rather than just brushing it off, trying to gaslight whoever's asking the question about it. Like, man, this is a ridiculous question being asked. It would be nice to see Coach Prime take some accountability when it comes to this. And it was nice to see Brett Bartoloni at least take some, even though it's not his fault primarily. But this for them to have this group of guys in here and say, you know what, regardless of what their talents are, our identity is going to be, we're going to throw around this rock and play precision passing football. When you don't have a precision passer on the roster, or when Caden Salter isn't a precision passer, that's ridiculous. And my fear is, Russ, going into this game against Wyoming, is that Coach Prime, Pat Shurmur, and this offensive staff, they're just going to push in a new quarterback, push in Caden Salter, plug and play, do exactly what we've been doing instead of actually scheming and making some changes. I mean, dude, I'm trying to think about the big adjustments that Pat Shurmur has made on this team. We talked about like last year, after like 3 weeks or so, running the ball out of pistol after a certain amount of weeks. That has been like the biggest amount of adjustment we've seen made by Pat Shurmur throughout this. So I'm hoping we can get some new variations of different run plays and having more pre-snap motion and using some of our speed on jet sweeps. But as much as I hope to see that, and I am praying, Russ, this coaching staff has shown to be anything but flexible and open-minded to trying new things. Instead, they just want to throw a new player out there, whether it's at quarterback, at DB, defensive line, and just throw another guy out there, see what he does. Forget playing a new defensive scheme. We're transfer portal heavy, Russ, so we can't learn all these complicated plays. Well, why the hell is every other successful college football team able to bring in a bunch of transfers and
exactly
more than cover one man?
Exactly. I get sick of, Dave, people saying that the problem is we take too much transfers. And I showed this on Monday. Every team in the top 25 took 20 plus transfers this past offseason, with a few of them taking 30 plus i.e. Ole Miss, who, by the way, is top 25 rated right now. So anybody who wants to use that as a excuse, wrong. You're right. We have no excuse when it comes to that. We are not scheming. We are not doing what we need to do. The coaches are not putting them in a position to win. And you can keep saying, here's what I don't get, Dave. Here's what is just blowing my mind. Every coach is every week saying that the players are not executing. Then why are we doing the same damn things every week if they can't execute it?
It's the definition of insanity.
Change it up. You're now what? This will be our 4th game of the season, and you can't tell me that you're going to scheme differently for the strengths of your guys now that you've actually seen them play and you see what they struggle with? Like, that is absolutely insanity. Absolutely insanity. So whatever they need to do, they need to sit down with Salter. They need to tell him, hey, we're sorry. You're the guy going forward. We're playing to your strengths. We're going to let you unleash. You don't have to throw the ball down the field. When you see an opening, take off running, okay? When you see a guy wide open, sure, go for the throw, set your feet, do what you have to do. But we're going to do more run game. We're going to do more play action to help you out. We're going to do whatever we can to put you in a position to succeed. Are you with us or are you not with us? And really figure that out for this Saturday. And it's our last chance, Dave. It's our last chance to truly figure things out, because after this, things get super serious. Super serious. And if I'm being honest, we need to go all in with Caden Salter. It needs to be all Caden Salter all the time. We need to cater everything to him. We need to do whatever we can game planning going forward. Okay? And Caden Salter has got until the bye week. If we go 0-4, 0-5 over the next 5 games, then yes, maybe at the bye week you say, okay, at that point we're going Julian Lewis to finish out the season. We can figure out what's going to happen next year. Let's see what we have happen. But I would be much more comfortable at this point now saying, hey, give Salter the offense, let him play, see what happens. If we get 2 wins out of the next 5, then it's Caden Salter's team and we're moving forward.
Yes.
And if we don't, then we're looking that way. I also hate some of the people that are out there like, oh, you destroy the confidence of your quarterback and expect him to come back in. Like, guys, it's professional sports now at this point. They're getting paid. Like, he has to figure it out. He needs to come in and do what he needs to do. He's getting his opportunity. If he's a professional, he'll do great, and that's what's going to happen. But I also agree with somebody else's comment. Like, this is it for Shurmur. Shurmur's done after the season. There's no way he comes back next year.
That's also why I'm wanting to wait on playing Julian Lewis, man. We every single week we're talking about how much of a liability Pat Shurmur is, and you want to entrust the future quarterback of this program right now with Pat Shurmur. Some of you guys are crazy saying, you know what, just roll with him right now going into BYU. Freaking who else we got coming into town?
Oh,
Utah,
Iowa State, Utah, BYU in the next 5. We've got the top Big 12 teams coming up against Colorado. Like, we're having the hardest stretch of our season. And luckily, we at least have the Wyoming game to try and figure things out, Dave.
Yes.
And we'll talk about Wyoming here, in just a little bit once we hit the break here halfway through. But, we absolutely need to figure things out in this game. I don't care what the score is, Dave, as long as it feels like we've figured some things out and maybe found our identity as a team. That's what needs to happen.
The most important thing is winning football games. I think some people have got this idea that it's kind of how you win football games that matters. That's a lie. Guys, I love our wide receivers, but they're gonna leave more likely because they're part of a losing environment rather than a winning one. Look at Asad Wasim going off against FAU. If we got to replace some wide receivers, we can do that. What I am worried about is creating an identity on offense that is leading to winning football. We need to do that. Caden Salter might want to prove that he has NFL arm talent. I understand that. That's probably the reason why he came here. He wanted to throw it more. Okay, I understand that. He's not going to be on NFL radars throwing 35, 40 times a game going 4-8. It's just not. You saw Cam Miller get drafted, I want to say, in like the 6th round this past year. I don't really think he's got great arm talent, but the man can run. He's athletic and led a winning program. to a championship, I think, again this past year, and he got himself drafted. So winning is what's going to put these guys on NFL radars. It's not the style in which you play. We have to run the ball more. Brett Bartolone, last time he called an offense, shout out to ScoBuffs 22 for putting this out there. You had great balance on offense at Jackson State. You had Shador throwing about 350 passes, I think, throughout that year. But you also had, I think, close to 300 rushes. You had Savion Wilkerson rush for over 1,100 yards. That is balance. And I do wonder, with the comments that he made, is he going to have more of an input on this offense going forward? Personally, right now, I think that he's the only guy on the offensive staff right now that's qualified to take over play calling duties. But
Yep.
yeah, you just can't be doing what we've been doing and expect the results to change. Right now, what we are doing is leading towards offense and defense, both outside of the top 100 in the FBS.
Yeah. It's to me, it's just crazy, Dave. Like, and watching some of the other teams in college football succeed, especially the teams that hired new OCs. A lot of head coaches who became OCs this offseason are absolutely killing it across the college football landscape. Craig Malzahn, the ex-Auburn head coach,
yeah.
now an OC. He's looking great. His team's looking pretty darn good. I look at the creativity across college football and I'm like, this is not what we're getting on a Saturday to Saturday basis with the Buffs. And so the problem is, and I got to tell everybody, like, here's your problem. Yes, Brett Bartolone could be the OC moving forward. They are not going to be able to install an entirely new offense. Can he make the right plays? Yes. Can he make the right calls? Could you still do that without actually making the move officially in the middle of the season? Yes, you can. So if that starts happening secretly, that's one thing. The hard part is replacing an OC in the middle of the season for college football is just not an easy task. And we want somebody who's going to be here long term. We want somebody who can be the right fit for Julian Lewis moving forward. And we're probably going to have a lot, David, options in the offseason. So unfortunately, guys, I think Shermer is quote unquote here to stay. With the amount of leaks, though, that come out of this team, I'm sure, the information would come out pretty quick that Coach Bartolone or somebody else is taking over a little bit more in play calling. So I don't know what that looks like. But, we need to change the way that we do things horribly. We need to change it. This is going to be, BYU at TCU, Dave, at home against Iowa State, on the road at Utah. Like, we will be lucky to win one game. If we win one game out of those four, like, that would be a success to me, because those four teams are the cream of the crop when it comes to the Big 12 right now.
This defense is booty, so you cannot have them on the field as much as they've been on the field. Like, you got to run the football. Caden Salter has to play within himself. The issue is that I think what he's been told is to play like Shador, and I think what he wants to do is play like, we need some real coaches to rein everybody in, because again, we have enough talent to compete hardcore in this conference, but not win. We have to overcome lack of scheme and doing things outside of the strengths of our skill sets. It's just not good. No, so yeah, hopefully this is the opportunity that, because I mean, we can install some new looks. It's not going to change overnight, but like, you look at what Oklahoma's done with John Mateer. I know a commenter brought that up. It's fantastic. A different offense than what they've run in the past. How about that? And they're having tons of success. John Mateer coming up from essentially what was G5 level, right? They're kind of in a gray area, but right now, man, we need to talk about the NFL in terms of doing things an NFL way should be a results process-based methodology in which you are scheming every week to beat your opponent, not just doing the same shit every week and not truly scheming. Man, this sounds bad, but with Pat Shurmur, we've hired the stale side of the NFL, man, and no one wants to play for losing old school and stale NFL methodologies and play calls, man. It's not innovative. It's not creative. It's not player centric, man. That's yeah. How about we start being an NFL program that starts to behave like winners?
100%. And I mean, Dave, there's already a lot of coaches on the hot seat when it comes to college football right now. So we can only imagine what the offseason is going to look like as far as availability goes. We can get a better OC for next year moving forward. That's not going to hurt us in the recruiting. Probably is going to help us in recruiting. It's going to help Julian Lewis feel happy about staying here. And things are going to be just fine. So,
Maybe,
Dave,
maybe. I mean, I might go dark side right now, Russ, because again, what's the common theme, man, with all this? Sean Lewis, Pat Shermer, going into year 3 now, there's no excuse, man. The identity of this team is dictated by the head coach. What makes a good head coach is they have an idea of what they want to be on special teams, defense, and on offense, man. And we've changed play callers, we've changed OCs. The one common denominator right now, even with the talent switching out, has been Coach Prime. I think that he is right now misidentified what this team is capable of and the style in which they're capable of winning it. And he needs to dictate it. He needs to make sure that this offensive staff has the freedom to call the game in which it will lead to winning games. And I could see this situation if things don't change. Why would you want to come here if you're going to be required to run an offensive system that does not lead to winning football?
Yeah. And there are people all over. I mean, ex-NFL, ex-college football players, ex-NFL players, all of that have said the same thing. Like, this is on the coaching. So anybody who says that it's not on the coaching and that it's, this, or this, like, do we have the same skill that we should have? No, that's a completely different thing, especially when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. I think a lot of that has to do with who we have there personnel-wise. But I also think we need to figure some things out there on how to play to their strengths. There are some things you can do well known in football in general to hide the deficiencies that you have, but we need to have those adjustments done. I hope that Coach Prime can learn from this and learn.
Yes.
That's the big thing that I think. I still try to remind people, Dave, like, Coach Prime hasn't been a head football coach for very long. Like,
the Power 5 coach for Power 4 for his third year. Yeah.
Third year. So he can still learn things.
Yes.
He can still try and figure it out. Okay. He can still, do all that stuff. And so I hope that he learns, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't go with one of these guys. I need to go with a known, experienced, successful offensive coordinator, going forward. Sean Lewis was kind of, that was an interesting decision. He's not playing to the strengths of the guys that he had. Like, it was a bad decision. Could Sean Lewis have been a great offensive coordinator at the Power 4? Absolutely. Was he the offensive coordinator that needed to be for Shedeur Sanders? No. Pat Shermer, supposedly trying to bring a more pro offense. Can he be successful with Shedeur Sanders? I mean, Shedeur was successful. The team could have been better. So can we bring in somebody who truly knows maybe the college game and what needs to happen at the Power 4 level, like so many teams have? Yeah. I look around college football, and there's just so many teams that change their OCs and are having such a successful year with what I would consider, okay rosters. I mean, all of the best quarterbacks in the country have sucked this year, and it's all people who are like, coming out of nowhere, who were guys that nobody in the preseason was saying, oh, this guy's going to have an amazing season, and they're having amazing seasons. But a lot of that has to do with the coaching and the way they're being used. So I hope that we can learn, and I hope that we can, actually affect that going forward. I truly, truly, truly do.
Yes. It's the only way. It's the only way we move forward right now. Guys, when you ever set out to do something a few years ago, whether it was a career shift or just something else that you're working on, man, like, very rarely does things go according to plan, even through year 1, let alone year 3, man. Like, this is something, again, really good coaches do stick to their guns and principles for the most part, but you have to make adjustments when things are not going as planned. And it's not just cycling out players to see if they can execute the same thing better, which seems like what we love to do. It's just put this guy in and see what he can do. Let's put a little bit more ownership on this offensive staff, defensive staff. Again, like you're seeing what Daniel Jones can look like right now with competent coaching. Not with Brian Daboll or Pat Sherman. I mean, if that isn't the biggest difference with coaching, I don't know what is, man. He's playing like an MVP. And two, I think Russ, with this defensive line, I know we'll get into this, but I think we're overlooking right now the loss of Coach Damian Lewis to Miami, man. These guys look like a shell of themselves compared to what we saw last year. And we did have a lot of returners.
We did. My hard part is I don't think we replaced the interior of the line like we needed to. And I think that doesn't help. You know, I don't think we give enough credit to Chidozie Nwankwo and how well he was able to absorb double teams and hold the middle of the line. It starts from there. It starts from the inside and it works its way out. It helps the outside guys get one-on-one. It helps the guys on the outside be able to do that. It helps the linebackers be able to get to their gaps and find their holes, although the linebackers are still making poor decisions when it comes to that. I think it's a mix. I think it's everything. I think losing that coach doesn't help. The lack of consistency and continuation there. I think, not adding enough. I mean, because again, Dave, our big ad in the offseason, our biggest transfer portal ad was Jaheim Otis. And he's done okay, but for some reason isn't finding the field a whole lot. I don't know what's going on there. Like he's grading out okay. Eye test when he's on the field, he's okay, but he can't stay on the field. I don't know what's going on there either. And so the defense, the interior of the defense is just not very deep. When, Brandon Davis-Swain, excited for him, thought he looked great game one. He's started to get pushed around now in games, 2, 3, 4. And that's not helping, Quincy Wiggins. It's just a rotation in the middle with nobody really anchoring that defense from the interior. And then Dave, I mean, we have to talk about it too. Our corners outside of DJ McKinney, the rest of the corners are hot garbage right now. Like, we are missing Colton Hood 100%. If we had him, we'd be in great shape on the back end. But there's nobody else outside DJ McKinney to help him, so he's on an island by himself. We add in the safety room and the issue there, like Tafik Bayard. Here's the good news: we got the information about it. Okay, guys. So Tafik Bayard, definitely the best guy in the DB room back there. He's been injured. That's why he hasn't been playing as much. He's been coming back, trying to recover, trying to figure that out. Last week, he kind of came back a lot more, looked really good. It sounds like he's going to be the guy going forward. But, I mean, every step of the way on the defense, there's just the skill's not there. The coaching's not making up for it. Like you said, the D-line is just not looking good right now.
We're lacking speed and athleticism on defense, but we're just in love with cover one man. Like, again, you can get more out of these guys. But yeah, I don't know. We only see glimpses of what's published every day. Hell, we didn't even know that Brandon Davis-Swain was going to be a starter coming into the season with what they showed on Well Off Man. So you got to take anything you see with a huge grain of salt. That you, as much as we want to think we know what's going on, man, we got no idea what's going on there in Boulder. So we got to be more creative play calling on both offense and defense, man. Defense, it's even more obvious, man. I know Coach Prime isn't a big fan of zone, but that's the only way forward, company, man. And if they can't play zone, then what the hell are you coaching? What the hell are you teaching? How come we're the only defense, man, that can only run one program, or we're the only defense that can run one play in all of college football, man? Like, why? Why is that, man? Come on.
Yeah, no, 100%. Dave, we've talked enough about all of this. We need to get into Wyoming, but before we do that, of course, let's hear from the sponsors of Buff Blitz tonight. Dave, you've got a great sponsor right now, and everybody should really be paying attention to this. What do you got to say about Profit X?
Yes, shout out to Profit X. This didn't work as good as I was hoping, but shout out to Profit X. They are America's #1 sports prediction market, peer-to-peer. So instead of sportsbook versus the house, you're playing against each other. So it means, guys, you can get the best price on any spread, money line, total, player prop, since you're playing with other people instead of the sports book. Available in 40 plus states, including states like Texas, Colorado, right? Use my promo code Dave, claim up to $200 in profit cash on all plays for the first 30 days. Terms and conditions apply. And this is what I got going on right now, Russ, because you can't find it anywhere else. You absolutely know this defense can't stop a nosebleed. So I got to play on Colorado Buffaloes over 45.5 points plus 107. Then, how about the spread? You can get plus 110 for Colorado minus 14.5. Now, I said yesterday, I don't know if they're covering, man. I just don't know if they're covering. But, man, for that kind of spread, I'm going to be putting a dollar on that thing. So, join me on Profit X, Russ. America's #1 sports prediction market. Thank you.
And then our other sponsor, of course, is the wonderful people at Taco Bell, Dave. That's right. Taco Bell has brought back the official decades menu, and the time it is focused on that crazy time period, Dave, Y2K. Taco Bell's delicious Y2K menu. You can get your 5 favorites: the cool ranch Doritos Loco Taco, the caramel apple empanada, the chili cheese burrito, the 7-layer burrito, and of course, the double decker taco, all for $3 or less. Combine that with your already cheap $7 Buffs box. You can feed a family of 2, a family of 4 if you got some kids for $10, grabbing a classic decades menu item and the Buffs box. I'm telling you, in this economy, $10 for a meal is probably cheaper than what you can eat at home. So get your Buffs box, get your cup. You get Quentin Gibson there. Got to get your Quentin Gibson cup. He's the future. Julian Lewis, he's the future. Draylon Miller. And I want to shout out Taco Bell because every time CU scores a touchdown this year, Taco Bell will help support CU Athletics with a $1,000 donation to the Golden Buffaloes Scholarship Fund. So thank you again to Taco Bell for sponsoring both myself and David Talks Buffs, as well as the Buff Blitz. Sco Buffs and live Moss at Taco Bell, baby. Okay, guys, we are back talking about Wyoming football, Dave. Let me know, what is your first impressions of Wyoming as a team? What do you think we're going to have to look out for? What's going to be really important? And how do you think this game is really going to go?
Well, this is a game that we should win. Absolutely. We need to go out there and dominate. If there's one game in which we can turn the corner and put ourselves on a new trajectory going into conference play, it's this game. Thank God for Wyoming, but we cannot overlook them. We cannot overlook them, guys. They have the 52nd ranked defense in FBS football right now. Okay. We're outside the top 100. So they got the advantage there. They don't have a great offense. I think they're averaging like freaking 16 points a game or something like that, But again, they haven't gone up against us. And right now, our defense has been a get-right matchup for opposing offenses, which is concerning. So I think it comes down to a few things, man. Can we stop the run? They're averaging like 160 yards a game. Can we not miss tackles? Let's get back to the fundamentals. You stop the run and you make your open field tackles. If this guy's going to throw for 300 yards on us, fine. Let it be. But we cannot allow this team to run over us, including the quarterback. We cannot have Connor Weigman freaking look like white Lamar Jackson juking our running backs like a Madden glitch. last week, man. We cannot make this guy look like Lamar Jackson this week. So right now, that's what I'm looking forward to on the defensive side of the ball. It is shutting down their run game. Sam Scott, Taron Kelman, and then their quarterback, Caden Anderson, who's only completing right now 58% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. That ain't good. That's kind of booty, but I'm not overlooking it, man. We make these guys always look better than what they are when they go up against our defense. So let's finally embarrass these guys. Can we embarrass an opponent?
Dave, it's going to come down to the offense, whether or not we embarrass them at this point, because Wyoming's defense, very, very good. Right now, their defense is only allowing, Dave, 12 points, 12.7 points per game. Now, their offense, like you said, is averaging 15.7 points per game, which is why they're sitting where they are. The offense for them is not getting anything done. They are a run-heavy offense, but they only get so much. They're averaging 158 yards per game rushing. That doesn't sound like a lot. In fact, Colorado's very close to that amount each game right now. Yeah. We're rushing about the same, guys. So to anybody who wants to say, after the game that they're going to put up 400 yards just like GT, Delaware, and Houston, that's kind of talking down on Georgia Tech, Delaware, and Houston, especially with what those 3 teams have done this season outside of the Colorado game. So to say that it's just completely on Colorado and it's not the fact that they also have skill, that's one thing. Because the fact is, Wyoming's offense is, as you said, David, straight booty. But their defense is very, very formidable.
Yes.
Very formidable. And it is going to be, hey, this is Caden Salter's chance to show everybody that Coach Prime made a mistake. The best thing I said, whenever I coached, Dave, I always told kids, I said, if you don't like my decisions, if you don't like your playing time, if you don't like anything like that, when I put you in the game, embarrass me. Make me look like an idiot for making that decision. I will say 9 times out of 10, those young kids can't do that because, hey, well, that's just how it is sometimes. But Caden Salter, I've been told all week, Dave, is a Heisman-level candidate.
Dude, I'm about it. Let's freaking go. That means we can win the conference,
internet
baby.
Right now. So, if Caden Salter is this unbelievable quarterback, coaching be damned, he should be able to do what needs to be done against Wyoming. Dude. And they should be able to be victorious. Because listen, Wyoming is a quote-unquote rebuilding team. They are well coached. They've got the old coach from North Dakota State there, the guy who led them to all those national championships. He knows what he's doing when it comes to coaching. He knows how to get the best out of players even when he doesn't have the skill. Okay? So can we game plan for that? Can we be able to figure that out? Can we be able to say, hey, like you said, make Caden Anderson throw the ball? Because I guarantee if you do that, he's not all of a sudden going to become the next iteration of insert, whatever great quarterback like has happened in the past. When we've decided, hey, this quarterback's a running quarterback, we're going to make him throw, and all of a sudden they throw well. Avery Johnson having his miraculous game last year, and now seeing how bad he is. Cam Miller being able to throw the ball all over the field against us last year when we put that up to it. We have to do this because Caden Anderson's not going to do that. But if we let them run all over us, we let them control the clock, if we let them make this a defensive battle, Dave, we are going to be in big, big trouble.
We're forgetting a huge thing when it comes to this matchup. Coach Flea's revenge.
That's right.
Coach Flea's revenge. And we've seen that right now, even though we're getting better play out of our running backs, I'm still saying we upgraded. We upgraded Coach Flea, right? Marshall Faulk, take him every single time over Coach Flea. But the main issue still remains. We're not giving our running backs the ball nearly enough. And we're not doing it creatively. And that was something Coach Flea experienced here as well. I thought it would change bringing in Marshall Faulk. I have been wrong so far. It has been breaking my heart. But, man, Coach Flea and those running backs, they're going to be motivated to come out and say, you know what, our offense sucks. We're not even averaging 15 points a game. But We're going up against the Colorado Buffaloes defense that's even worse than our offense. Can we run all over us or all over the Buffs, man? It is the matchup, man. We gotta show Coach Flea you can't just come in here and steal our thunder. We have to go out and dominate. To get ready for BYU, man. This is a matchup that we cannot take lightly.
It absolutely isn't. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be tough. But, Dave, if we can open up the game, if the offense can get going, that plays into our strengths.
Yes.
That was the game plan against Georgia Tech. It never happened. We had a chance, Dave. We had a chance. If the offense scores 14 points even to start the game off those 3 turnovers, CU is victorious, and we're in a completely different position than we are thinking. You know, Caden Salter never comes out of the team. We continue on with that. That is where the season immediately took a turn. You got to at least score off of the few turnovers that your defense is going to get you. You got to. You have to. And now we know even more why that is important. So I have got to see this offense succeed. It's coming down to them because guess what? The defense is not going to help them to the extent that they're going to shut this team out or do anything like that. That's just not a given. Can our offense produce against a very good defensive team? What will that tell us going into next week when we play BYU and the games after that? Because, God, we've got a hard stretch coming up. So we have got to take care of Wyoming. We've got to take care of them in impressive fashion. Otherwise, guys, yeah, we're going 0-4, 0-5 probably. Actually, I forgot, by the way, that after those 4 games, who do we get after that, Dave? Oh, yeah, that's right. Arizona, who looked pretty darn good last week after, probably me thinking all offseason that was going to be an easy win. Arizona may not be a easy automatic win for Colorado anymore with the way we're playing, with the way they're playing.
Yeah. Yep. I had another thought, but it must have not been that important. This is what it was. We got to run for at least 200 yards in this game, man, in order for me to feel like we compete against BYU. To show that we'll have like at least some balance. Like we have to emphasize being a run first team.
We have to show that the offense is changing and that they are adjusting. That's the biggest thing. That will show us that if we can gain 200 yards against Wyoming, that will show that this team is in fact adjusting. And hey, maybe, just maybe, Dave, Brett Bartolone is doing a little bit more play calling. We don't know about it. Just maybe if that happens, because let's be honest, at this point, Pat continually saying we're going to run the ball and this team saying we're going to run the ball and then we don't, tells me that we're never going to change. That's never going to change. So if we do change, Dave, it's probably because we finally made some changes to actually affect this team.
And how about incorporating some real play action in there for Caden Salter? How
run the ball?
That? How about that?
Run the ball, play action, throw the ball. Not that hard. Jordan Seaton said it week 1. He said it week 1. We're making it too difficult. Just run the damn ball, play action, throw the ball.
I've heard this argument. Pat is calling a good game. You got guys open. The players and or the quarterback is not hitting the guys and not executing. Why the hell are you calling stuff that we can't execute? I don't care if guys are open, dude. Caden Salter has never been a precision passer. You're not going 5 wide, 10 personnel, spreading this thing out and throwing darts down the field for the whole drive, man. That's not how you're going to win games. Get back to the basics when you got normal level talent at the quarterback position, man. Stop having him play Superman ball.
I don't get it, Dave. Like, I've been watching back a bunch of the games. We've been doing the 2 running back set a lot, but we don't do anything creative out of it. It is literally just a running back dive out of it with an extra guy back there who, by the way, every time they run that, the guy runs opposite of the play. You think maybe like, hey, an extra blocker, run down their throat, have the other running back run into the hole and try and open something up, add an extra block. No. And guess what? It's pointless. It's pointless to have the running back run out, There's no creativity because we never use him. We never use him. Can we not run quarterback option out of that play? Can we not see an option play, a pitch play, something using misdirection? I need to see it if we're going to do Caden Salter. That has to be done. That has to be done.
In 2020, Russ, the COVID year, so we didn't play a complete season. We got absolutely obliterated by Texas in the Alamo Bowl, per usual. But that was a fun year. That was a fun year. And you know what? It wasn't because we had all this amazing high-end talent on our team and specifically on our offense. We had a guy that was at quarterback that then moved to safety with the team for the previous year, then convert back to quarterback. And you know what we did? Carl Durrell, a terrible head coach, absolutely awful, schemed around his talent. I think Darren Cheverini was there too. Shout out to him, by the way. Still having a lot of success with D2 football right now. Where we just leaned into our identity. We're just going to have to run the football in order to win games. We can play off of play action. You know, we went 4-3, and Jared Broussard was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, man. We had no business. Nobody on that team had business of winning those kinds of awards, but it was the coaching that helped elevate the talent and get a team. I think that was predicted to maybe win one game that year or so to a 4-2 record before getting obliterated, of course, by Texas. But that's the kind of stuff that I want to see done. It's like we've seen more done on offense with less before, previous to Coach Prime, man. I know this can be done. I know Coach Prime and this staff can get it done, but it's going to take them showcasing some humility that, man, we messed this thing up. Now it's time to go make it right.
Yeah, it does. It does. And, you know, here's the fact. Colorado just needs to show up. We need to see how people respond. I've seen way too much online about people saying that, you know, players are checking out already and blah, 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 whatever that is. You know, we saw that with Nebraska last year and the team did just fine and bounced back. I don't foresee any problems there, but I do. I want to see a completely different offense. I want to see us take advantage of it. You know, if we can be successful against Wyoming offensively, Dave, if we can put up 24 to 30 points, 200 yards rushing, I will feel much better about this team moving forward. If we don't get that and we struggle, it's only going to get worse from here. It's only going to get worse from here, for sure.
Yes. Yes, yes.
So, Dave, let's get into it. Let's talk about our impact players of the game, who we want to see show up. Not necessarily who we think is going to show up because, you know, that hasn't worked out very well this year. But who do we think needs to show up in order for CU to be successful this Saturday night? Oh, yeah, by the way, 8:15 start. What do you think needs to happen, Dave? Who is your players to watch?
Yeah, in order to win, man, I feel like right now he's the leader in this group. We need a big game from him, and that's Amari McNeil, man. We cannot get shredded on that interior of the defensive line, man. Somebody has to step up and set the tone for this team. I would like to see a little bit more guys like Tafik Thomas, a few of these guys. But defensively, I think like right now, it's got to start on the defensive line with one of our senior guys, man. Amari McNeil needs to go out and have a good game.
Yeah. And offensively, who do you got?
Man, offensively, if I can't say the play caller, yeah, I guess what somebody said right there, man. We have to play through Simeon Price, man, or really whoever the hot hand is at running back. I think like right now, Simeon Price has demonstrated that. But hey, once you get something going with a running back, more often than not right now, it's been Price. You just ride that thing. You ride that thing as long as possible and spell when needed. Let's actually scheme and game plan to highlight a few players that will lead us to victory. Simeon Price, no doubt, is a non-negotiable when it comes to getting a victory against Wyoming.
I love it. I love it. I mean, I'm going to go the easy one. I'm taking the easy route out.
Yes.
It's got to be Caden Salter on offense. It has to be. Everybody told me on Twitter, after the game that we would have won that game against Houston if Caden Salter was the quarterback. Well, Caden Salter's now the quarterback again. If you think that changes the play calling, if you think that changes the defense, then hey, we should win this game easily, and Caden Salter should have a Heisman level performance and be in the talk for that at the end of this game.
Please, God.
But we'll see what happens with that. I'm just saying, I think that's going to be an important part. Defensively, Dave, I got to go with a linebacker, and the one linebacker that's been consistent that I want to see play more, especially if Wyoming's going to run the ball, is John Myers. We need to play him more. He grades out well. He looks great on tape. I don't know why he's not getting more play time. Yes. I hope to God he is the main guy out there when it comes to the linebacker room. And I hope to God this team is ready to be ran over and ran on, because that's going to be the main thing that's happening. So that's my guy on the defensive side of the ball.
I was hoping you were going to pick Sean Myers, man. He was going to be my second choice.
He's my guy. That or probably, my kid, my guy now, Alex McPherson. I think he's going to get more play time. He has looked absolutely dangerous and ridiculous on that defensive line. If I'm being honest, Dave, he's looked even better than Arden Walker, who we talked about should have had a massive season. And Alex McPherson is looking like Arden Walker was supposed to. And that's as a true freshman, Dave. That's as a true freshman. So if one thing is to be sure about this team, guys, I'm excited about the future of this team still, no matter what happens this year. We've got guys in place. They are developing. They're going to be a part of this team long term. And I do think that, hey, there are still, and we saw it this week, there are still recruits that are committed to Colorado that said, I am still locked in, because, of course, I'm sure they're getting stupid fans tweeting them, you see what happened, like, come play for us. Mm-hmm. Like, they're locked into Colorado. They're going to be here. I'm ready to see it. And so Alex McPherson is going to have a great game, guys. He's going to have a great game. Sean Myers is going to have a great game. And, I think Colorado gets back on the winning track. I think we look better. And I hope to God, Dave, by the end of this game, we can at least say, hey, I'm starting to see some kind of identity with this team. And I think it does come down to what you said. You were absolutely right. 200 yards rushing would definitely tell us what we need to know about where this team is going and that they're actually adjusting. So I hope that's what we see.
Yes.
Okay, Dave, it's just come to that moment. It's come to that moment. It's the time for us to put in our predictions. Yes. What we think is going to happen late night in Boulder, Colorado against the Wyoming Cowboys, a rebuilding team that is defense heavy first, offense last. Where do we think Colorado ends up? Are you going to be optimistic, or are we getting dark side Dave right now?
You're getting dark side Dave in some respect, man. I'm not picking us to lose to Wyoming. Hell no, absolutely not, man. Even with the liability that our coaching is right now, we should go out and beat Wyoming. Now, this is a little bit of hopium right now. I think we do call a little bit better of an offense. So, but man, before I think that our defense is anything to bet on, man, I need to see them perform. So, man, this might not sound great. Give me Buffs 27, Wyoming 23, man.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. I do not, until I see this defense step up, I do not see us stop. I don't care their offense averages 12 points a game, man. We let bad teams right now play better against us. So I could see them going for another 400 yards of total offense, looking incredible. But hopefully we just make enough plays to get this victory. I'm still going to make my play on the minus 14.5 because those odds over on Profit X are just amazing. But right now, man, I'm not predicting us to cover. No way.
Oh man, Dave. That is interesting. That definitely is Dark Side Dave. I think that because if that happens, Dave, I have no hope in this team going forward. I really don't. Because it needs to be a bigger win for me to still have hope in what this team can be. And I like what Lamar is saying here. A win is not enough. If we can't dominate Wyoming 4-8 loading, I don't even know 4-8 is the right thing there. For me, I've got to see more from this team. I need to see the defense show up. They know what Wyoming is about to do. This is as one-sided of an offense as we could possibly face. If you just load that box and go man to man, you probably win this game by a lot. But the question is, can we actually do that? Can we make those calls? Can we make that decision? Can we also, tackle when we do get put in a position to succeed? Because, hey, we should have like 5 or 6 more sacks this season if the team actually tackles. So that needs to happen this week. So for me, I'm going to go with the optimism. I'm going to go with the copium. I'm going to go with the fan. I'm going to go with all of it. I get what people are going to say. I don't care. I'm going to get people, coming at me after the game that, I didn't do this. I'm going to go 27-14 Colorado. I think that would be a big enough win that I would be happy. I need 200 yards rushing, like you said. I want to see that. I want to see our best rushing performance yet combined. I want to see us run through Simeon Price. For the love of God, the guy is averaging way too many yards to not be giving him the ball more, and to just stop with the rotation as much as we are. And I just hope that Colorado is ready to go. I would hope that it is ready to go. This is Caden Salter's team now, Dave. This is Caden Salter's team now, for better or for worse moving forward. Stop rotating. Stop doing that. Live and die with Caden Salter at quarterback. Let's see what happens. And hopefully the defense can manage and do enough against Wyoming.
Yeah.
It's on Saturday.
Yeah. Shout out to Sir Guy. He said he put 10 on the Buffs covering. I love that. Yes. Hopefully this is just the bad energy ridding itself.
Just because Dave said that we wouldn't cover.
Yes, thank God. I'm hoping it's like a reverse curse, dude. So yes, please. I will be elated. I want to come on here, Russ, on Saturday night and talk about how we're gonna upset BYU. We cannot lose to a quarterback whose number is 47. We just can't do it right now. It's not looking good.
Yeah. Somebody Dave, somebody asked what like the size of Wyoming's line is. Yeah. Trenches is their strength on both sides of the balls, guys.
That doesn't surprise me. They're Wyoming.
They're Wyoming. That's all they go for is size, guys. They've got 300 plus pounds on every position on the offensive line, 300 pounds in the interior defensive line. They are trench heavy. That's what I said. That's why Dave said, if we run 200 yards against Wyoming and we look good and stop the run against Wyoming, then the season is back on. Something good could happen. It means that we did something right and we figured something out in that game. Am I right?
Yes.
That's what it says against this team.
Dude, if we cover, I'll say this. If we cover, man, I'm going to feel much better going into BYU. That's all we need to do, man, cover. But hopefully it's like 50-0. Man. Coach Bartolone better be calling the plays this week, man. If I knew Coach Bartolone was calling the plays, man, we're definitely covering. Man. This is the Pat Shurmur fix. This is the Pat Shurmur handicap right now.
Yeah. It 100% is. And Cam's right here. Like, I did watch the Akron game. That's what I'm saying is Wyoming is rebuilding, guys. They are rebuilding. So should Colorado probably win this game? Yes. Could it be close? Yes. Should it be a blowout? Yes, it should. Yes. If it is a close victory, it is not a victory at all, and this season is going to be done. But I don't think CU is losing this game. Now, are they going to cover the spread? That's the biggest question, like Dave said. If they cover the spread, maybe we're back on and things are looking a little better and we figured things out.
Yeah.
But it is going to be all about, and honestly, Dave, this game is a perfect example of where the players are at. Because outside of the scheming, it's going to be man on man. Can you beat the guy in front of you? Can you push the guy in front of you? Can you figure that out? Do you want it more than that guy in front of you? Because guess what? Wyoming's going to want it. Wyoming is going to want it. You don't think that they want to be on the national headlines that they beat this Coach Prime Colorado team, that they hung in there with this Coach Prime Colorado team heading into their conference? Like, that is going to be a massive part of this. So we need to figure it out. We do.
Yeah. No doubt, man. I had some other thoughts, but man, this chat's cracking me up. I'm trying to read some of the comments. Man.
Oh, it's bad. This is what happens when CU is struggling.
I know.
You know,
I love it, but yeah, man, like these rebuilding teams have had success against us, man. Like, this is what I was gonna say. Last year when we got embarrassed against Nebraska, this team came together. The leaders stepped up, and we got in order to go obliterate Colorado State. And we handled them the way that we should have. Right now, I don't think we have the leaders to do that right now. I'm skeptical of being able to rally everybody together and go out and dominate an opponent. But this is the opportunity. You're going up against Wyoming after getting embarrassed against Houston last week. We need guys like Caden Salter to step up. I know it hasn't been the fairest shake for him right now, but he needs to put all that aside. We need our senior leaders like Arden Walker, Amari McNeil, these guys to step up. They've been with the program. You know, those couple guys, they've been with the program multiple years. They need to step up, galvanize this team, get everybody focused and determined to go out there and put on a clinic. This team still has the ability to put on a clinic, but they got to lock in. Everybody needs to be unified. Somebody needs to step up.
Yeah, Dave, absolutely. Absolutely. That is what needs to happen this year.
Oh my gosh. Go to us, sir, guy, man.
The
tarot card for the game looking good.
We're getting the tarot cards out. You know the season is going great when you got the tarot cards out.
I love that. Okay, see. Yes, sir, guy. This is the kind of juju we need, the type of energy we need going into this game, man. If the tarot card's looking good, then that's the most bolder thing leading towards a good game, right?
Yeah. I mean, they absolutely need to check out what's going on with, what happened in that Utah game. They need to take that as an example. They need to figure that out. So hopefully, hey, have a conversation with Caden Salter. Tell him to just be you. Tell him to just play football. Tell him to not worry about having to throw it down the field. Run the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball. For the love of God, please run the ball. Whether it's Caden, whether it's Simeon Price, run the ball. Hopefully that happens. Hopefully that happens, Dave. Okay. Any other comments, Dave, before we kind of wrap up the show here at about an hour? We'll of course be back, guys, by the way, on Saturday night at 1 a.m., Dave.
Yeah.
You and I, 1 a.m. We're going live.
Yeah, I guess it'll probably be between midnight, 1 a.m. Central. I'm trying to think, but yeah. Anyways, I'll probably release it in 2 or 3 different parts, but my preview with Jay over at Primetime College Football. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We did film it yesterday, so we did talk a lot about what we need to go on offense and all that. A lot of it's still relevant. So I think you guys will enjoy that. And again, hopefully I'll be on here with you, Russ, Saturday night after we get a blowout victory. There's nothing more I want to do than hype up a Heisman candidate that we got at the quarterback position. I want to hype us up about going to the conference championship, baby. Winning cures all. Let's get this dub. Let's do it in dominating fashion, and let's have some real exciting. I'm sick of shitting on the coaches, dude. That isn't fun. That's not fun. Let's talk about how good these players are.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, make sure you guys are liking both our channels. Jump over to my channel. Jump over to David Talks Buffs. Super easy to do. You can find us. Get us the subscribers. I lost 15 subscribers after the game. I'm back up, Dave. I'm back up. I'm only down 1 now because I got 14 subscribers this week. So maybe they had a change of heart after the game. And we're like, maybe that was a little bit harsh. But let's get those numbers back up. Let's get the likes up on both channels. It helps us out greatly. If you guys like what we're doing, if you have fun here, we appreciate you guys so much for being a part of the chat. We love talking with you guys. It's a lot of fun to be a part of this and talk football. Dave, a lot of fun hanging out with you on a Wednesday night each week. Let's just hope that CU is able to take this bad taste out of our mouth, and at least for a week, we can feel a little bit positive about this team heading into the toughest stretch of the entire schedule. So, Dave, anything else that you want to add here before we wrap up?
The tarot card said we'd cover the spread. Let's go. I'll put $1 on that. I'll put $1 on that on Profit X. Thank you, sir, guys.
Oh, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this Wednesday night. As always, make sure you guys are tuned in each and every week, Wednesday nights, for the Buff Blitz. And of course, tuning into both my channel and Dave's throughout the week for all of your CU Buff coverage until Saturday night, late, celebrating a CU win. We'll see you guys later for Buffs Blitz. I'm Russ, David Talks Buffs. And as always, and forever, Sko Buffs.
Let's go, Buffs.